Hogstye.
All right, and welcome to the Hogseye. Everybody, football is happening. If you are listening to this show and it is Thursday, then it's happening tomorrow. If it's Friday, it's happening tonight. If it's Saturday, you probably
happened.
It's already happened. You probably got drunk watching it, or maybe you didn't. I don't know what you did. I don't know what you do on your Friday nights, people. I'm not a telepath like that, and I can't hear you and talk to you through the radio. So
I am a
stop.
telepath.
That is Steve. That is Dave cackling.
Yes, it
we
is.
have the show. Welcome, everybody, and
I
welcome.
can only do it when I have too many glasses of water, though.
The telepathy thing?
Yeah, that only comes through when I have like my third glass of water in a night.
Steve, are you sure that's
my
not just
crazy.
like your prostate? Like you're getting older.
I'm telepathic, but it only happens when I drink water.
Okay.
That's
Well,
what I'm
that's
saying.
all you drink now, though.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you drink
So
water.
what's on my mind then?
I'm not gonna say if you don't know. I'm not telling you.
Wow, that was impressive. That's exactly what I was thinking too.
See?
Dave, that's disgusting. All right, welcome to the show, guys. We have quite a few things that happened since the last show. We really will probably want to talk about training camp because Washington is now up in New England practicing against the Pat Riots. And just to be clear, if you follow a lot of this stuff on social media, be very careful when you're following Boston people because they really don't know Jaden Daniels from Josh Johnson.
They don't.
It's kind of sad and a little bit racist because they're all from Southie, and we all know about Southies.
Is it basically the two black guys look exactly the same to the Boston people? Is this what
Yeah,
you're saying?
yeah, I'm pretty
pretty
sure
much.
that's what's going on.
For being a bunch of Northeast liberals, it's funny that Boston is maybe the most racist city in the country.
Yeah, South Boston is easily one of the most racist places on the
The
planet.
self-righteous liberals up there who,
But they all live in North Boston, the self-righteous ones.
I'm going to lump them all together.
That's fine. They're all the same to you.
And our
Yeah,
fourth cast member is once again with us, by the way, in
Yes,
Kobe the
Kobe.
dog. So, yeah, he's
Kobe
already
is,
alerted.
Already guarding Steve from various troublemakers,
He is.
squirrels and other dogs and bicycles.
make it
We
a-
found out bicycles are also Kobe's nemesis.
Oh, yeah, he hates
Bicycles
bicycles.
and the player and the riders wearing shorts combination. Oh no,
Yeah.
that's you, Alex. My bad.
was
No, that's
Alex.
me.
Yeah, that was
Yes,
Alex imposing over
I think people who wear bike shorts should all be arrested. But by just it's not a public decency thing. It's just a I know you're a bad person thing because you're wearing bike shorts.
I think I can go along with that. But
Yeah.
Kobe will speak up at opportune moments when he has something to say.
Right.
Yeah, he only makes me look very unintelligent when he speaks, but that's okay.
You got to stand up for yourself.
Yeah. All right. So let's start with we're gonna go a little bit chronological here with things that have happened since the last show. It is official. The stadium bill was passed by the city council. I was off by one vote. It passed 9-3. I was guessing it would get 10 votes. I bet you if Dirty Trayvon White had been there, he would have voted for it. So that would have been your 10th vote right there.
Somebody would have handed him a suitcase full of money and
Right.
it would cause him to vote for it.
Right. It would have been Monopoly money, but he wouldn't know the difference.
Suitcase full of Monopoly 20s.
Right, exactly. So it got a 9-3 vote. There's the second vote that has to happen in, I guess it's a week from now, but there's a 2-week rule. I looked into this because our buddy Rick Snyder texted me like, why is this a thing? DC law requires any major vote like this. You vote on it once, then you have to wait 2 weeks and vote on it again. I think it's so that you don't pass things impulsively.
Anti-corruption thing is what it is.
It's supposed to be anti-corruption. Yeah. I think in the end, sometimes it might lead to some corruption in practice, but that's
Possibly.
government for you.
But I'm telling you, there's going to be another vote to issue bonds.
Right. That I don't think there's a date
That
for
won't be
yet.
for a while. Oh no, that'll
Yeah.
well be down the road.
Right. So there will be that vote as well.
Well, for those of you who want a government to spend more public tax money to hand to a billionaire owner of a football team, congratulations.
Yep, they got their money. There were those changes we talked about last week that were made to the bill to try and make it break a little more even.
Changes around the edges, man.
Yeah, I know. It's not like this
more community money from the team. Okay, good.
Yes.
Next.
Yeah, a little more tax revenue here and there, but it might break even in the end in terms of that. So pros and cons. I think that I will give the team a lot of credit, though. They were very good at reacting to hearing concerns, and part of it's showmanship. Like, they know what people are going to say they're unhappy about, and they plan to cave on. Like, when you're negotiating a deal like this, Steve, you have things you plan on caving on to make.
I do it every day. Listen. Yeah. What you do is you plan ahead about where you want to end up. I did this week. Okay, where do we want to end up on this? Okay, and so we're going to bid this, and here's going to be our argument, and we're going to be willing to compromise up to this point. I mean, that's what they know. Right. There's a strategy behind all this.
Right. When it comes to the $50 million for like public school after school programs, that was already earmarked. They just waited to put it out at the right time.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
It's just implementing leverage at certain periods of time, at certain points.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm sure the team came out of this with exactly what they expected and what they wanted. I'm sure the city overall, they'll be happy in terms of like the mayor and the city council. The people who are, and you're in this camp, Steve. And it's funny, some of the most far left people in DC are also in the camp of I don't want to spend any money on a stadium for an owner.
You're lumping me in with the lefties, huh? I guess if that's how it shakes out. That's how it shakes out.
I think that, but the point is that has always been a cross-partisan thing.
Yeah.
I'm in that camp.
You can come all the way around on that.
Yeah, I'm in that camp too, by and large. I'm okay with some of what they're spending money on. Things like the what do they call it? It's like a public facility for like high school gym folks and like that
that's
money.
More along the lines of what the local government should be doing.
Right, and that's about $100 million of the $1 billion that they're going to spend.
That's a lot, but
yeah, it's a lot, but it's only 10% of what they're spending. You're going to have to spend some of this money, but not $1 billion. So like I can stomach some of it. I don't love. Hey, we're going to put another metro. There's no need for a second metro station. And I'm sure people like Dave are going to be unhappy because of the PSLs. People who want to be season ticket holders, and now they're going to get priced out.
Scenario that they were not going to have PSLs.
Oh, I know. No. And I think, people tried to make a big deal about that last minute to maybe get this thing to fail, but this could have been built anywhere on the planet. It was going to have PSLs.
Yes.
It could have been all government subsidized and it'd have PSLs.
Yeah, basically what I'm paying for 2 seats now, I'll basically pay for 1, essentially.
Right. That's what it sounds like.
And you will have to make a decision as to your, what your financial limit is, as will everyone. But the simple fact of the matter is if you don't do it, they'll find somebody else who will.
I'll put it this way. The seats I have now are actually a little over what I wanted to spend, but it actually took convincing of my wife to pick those seats and be right there. And she's like, well, we can make that work. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not paying what they're going to want the new stadium.
Oh, I would
not for where you're sitting now. Like there will be other seats in your price range that won't be as good.
And listen, not every seat in every stadium has a PSL. Okay. I mean, some stadiums, like the upper decks don't have them, but the lower decks do. And so we're not saying literally every seat, because some might not. So we'll just have to see how it shakes out. But you'd have to compromise on where your seats are, without a doubt.
And if I got to sit up that high, I'd much rather give them up and go to a game or two a year, and that's about it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
I've heard some crazy numbers of what the PSLs will be for things like the luxury boxes and those executive suite type stuff. Like 6-figure PSLs.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
Well, for a luxury box, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But even for a luxury box, the numbers were starting to sound crazy to me. But I guess so many of those are owned by like corporate lobbyists and groups.
Most luxury boxes are owned by corporations. I got news for you. Almost all of them.
Yeah. Well, and in DC, it's going to be
Lobbyists.
specifically the lobbyist types. Hey, Senator, you want to come and give me $19? That's the cost of your seat, since that's not bribery. That kind of deal.
Because we all know politicians are certainly above board and totally honest in all they do, especially the ones in Washington.
Well, but if you can't give one a gift of more than I think it's $20. Anything over $20 is a bribe.
I don't think it's possible for me to have more contempt than I do for
politics that. Yeah.
Politicians in Washington. I don't think there's a group of people in the world that I have more contempt for than even journalists, because journalists are a bunch of losers too. But
they don't make any money off of it.
You are not alone. You are not alone. I mean,
I'm talking both parties.
I've literally drifted away from keeping up on politics a few years ago. I got tired of keeping up, trying to figure out what source to follow that's going to give me the most accurate information, and then I got to find a counter source to see if they're leaving something out, and then I cross-reference. I just, you know what? I'll tell you what, I'm going to just stick to my thing over here, and I'll just listen to people like you guys who are pretty deep in politics, and I'll just sit back and listen.
Yeah.
It's so much easier.
And
for me
even
that
somebody like me who loves politics, I know politicians are all awful. I'm not naive about that. By the way, just because it's fun, I decided to double check. Most hated jobs, and this is from a place called resumehelp.com, so I don't know how reliable this is. The list of most hated politician, next up insurance brokers, next up priests. So that's an interesting one.
That might be a callback to the Catholic scandal thing.
Yeah. And then after that, influencers. Influencers honestly might be my number one.
That is not a job.
I hate influencers more than I hate politicians. It is a job if you are very rich already.
I tell you what, influencers are definitely rising up that list of people I can't stand. It drives me nuts.
Right.
I hate them too, but they're not above politicians in my universe.
No, they're not.
I think they might do just as much damage in the end, though. That's the scary part. That's why I hate them so much. And what are they using their influence for? Nothing ever useful or helpful or bettering society in any way. So, I would put influencers way up there. I heard an interesting story about one recently. I won't get into who it was, but the daughter of a very rich person whose whole influence thing is she got pregnant, and she's just posting photos of her like pregnant belly all over the place and making money off of Instagram.
Let me guess, she's very attractive.
Yeah, but
there you go.
I maybe it's just me. She's pregnant, less attractive. I'm gonna go out and say that. Yeah. So
I'm gonna get myself in trouble if I say anything more at this point about this subject.
Yes.
No,
I don't think I said it.
The average loser guy on the internet is gonna watch a video by an attractive woman, whether pregnant or not.
Yes.
Whereas a average to below average person of attractive female will not get the views.
Right.
Well, that's not really all that controversial. There's a lot of people that agree with you on that one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
But I think we all agree, even though we do a podcast, we're one step above influencers with that. Podcast is totally yes.
I mean, we're just
maybe two
our
steps.
Opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're not trying to influence. We're just talking about football, and if you want to listen. If you don't.
Right. You don't have to care about our opinions.
Well, and the most important thing about what we do here is we've always prided ourselves from day one about total honesty.
Right.
We're not trying to lie. Half these influencers' videos and stuff are lies and edits, and we don't do that.
That's true. I'm way too lazy to do heavy editing of this show. Unless something really goes wrong, I don't edit the show.
I can only think of a couple times in 10 years that we've ever had to edit stuff.
Yeah. And
other than
not counting
audio
issues.
problems. Yeah, I'm talking about we've maybe once or twice, and that's it.
I can remember two specifically.
Yeah. Right.
One where something was said that shouldn't have been said, and we cut it.
Yeah.
The other, I think, was more just, you know what? That really was a bad half hour. Just cut that. Like it was not entertaining. Please just get rid of it.
That must have been one of your drunken rages, huh?
No.
Those are entertaining.
Yeah, they are entertaining, actually.
Yes.
Well, I've edited content maybe once out of IJB because it got too political, and I cut that, and that's the only time I can think of doing that. We did that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So that's the difference between us and influencers. We're too lazy to edit. Yes.
I don't want to.
No, I don't
say
either.
Whatever we say. That's it.
Right. Honesty.
Speaking of that, let's move on to some actual football stuff.
All right. True. So stadium, hooray. Good news. It's resolved. It's probably going to pass the next vote pretty easily, and then we can move forward with building a stadium finally. And the thing that comes back to all the time in my mind, how mad is Dan Snyder secretly about this at this point? In 2030, if he's still alive, how much will he be angry about that stadium opening up?
Listen, he can wipe his tears with $100 bills, okay?
All I know is somebody that can find a way of reaching out to him of some kind of significant position in DC. Needs to send him 2 seats for the first game in DC in a new stadium.
How funny would that be if
that would be
did
fantastic? That? Yes.
I just want to see if his wife divorces him. That's really all I care about. I don't care if he shows up at a game. Is his wife going to stick with him, or is she going to divorce him and take half the money?
I think she is hoping to outlive him. That would be my move if I were her.
He's not that old though.
Yeah, but she's a little younger, and men die sooner. Like she'll get a good 15 years of just his money, probably.
Possibly, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Just that's the way the numbers look.
It would be funny if he showed up at the stadium, though. I got it.
It would be very funny. That would be hilarious if. But he can't be in a luxury box. Like the seats have to actually be like nosebleeds, or something.
Nosebleeds, and you make sure those seats are like old seats you just put there for that one game, just for him, and maybe even have some like a line, like a water line above them that you just have in place that has nothing to do with anything, and just break it open on him so it just goes all over.
Pop a steel girder in there right in front of his seat.
There you
go. Just for the game. Just for that game.
Put him in the upper deck on like the 5-yard line.
And put a small 6x6 inch TV screen in front of him to watch the game.
Oh, that would be great. All right. Let's talk about the other big thing that happened in the last week. That is the continuing Terry McLaurin contract saga. The latest is now that he's officially putting out a request to be traded if the team won't give him an extension. Now, this is a pretty standard thing players do in, contract talks, is if you don't want me, trade me. He has not done what Parsons has done in Dallas, where he put, Micah Parsons put out this whole 2-paragraph statement about how much he now hates playing for the Cowboys, and he's like, this was his childhood team, and he never wants to be with the team again, blah, 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 blah.
I think Terry McLaurin's too classy for that.
Right.
Yeah, no.
And this is just a leverage play, okay? We were talking about leverage earlier in business negotiation. This is what this is.
Right.
Terry McLaurin probably doesn't care if he's traded or not traded. He wants a contract.
Right.
And I wrote a column published Monday in which I went into a little bit more detail about the contract. So I'm not going to get into the details here, but suffice to say that I think the issue, after really looking at it, is 1 is age. That's not news.
No.
And 2, the result of his age is the team would probably want a 3-year deal just because of the way the guaranteed money would have to shake out.
Right.
And that would end up making him a free agent like 32. And that's just not what he, would be good for his career. And so I think they're stuck on amount of guaranteed money and probably years.
Sure.
Between 3 and 4. That's where I think it probably is. And I think the trade thing would go away tomorrow if Washington handed him the contract he wanted.
Right. Well, so I did see something. I think Chris Russell's the one who tweeted this out. That the rumor is that they're about $6 million apart in terms of average annual value, which, seems pretty significant still in a contract to be that far apart.
I can answer that. So,
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton was like 23 million.
Right.
And what his average annual value actually is, McLaurin is about like 32. That's
Right.
what it really should be. And so Washington's, so that's about 10 million apart. So Washington's probably up at like,
27,
28,
28,
28, 29. Right.
Yeah.
That's probably where they are.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if that's how far apart they are, obviously, the logical thing in your brain is, well, in the end, you split that difference, and team comes up
There's
3.
a huge part of it is guaranteed money, though. Okay.
Right.
Oh, I know.
Average annual value is really just a number that agents talk about that doesn't mean a whole lot. It's just an easy way to quantify something. But what's actually important is what's the signing bonus? How much money is guaranteed at signing? Because a lot of these contracts will have, the teams program these to have it out. I did it in a contract I designed. And so what the agent will want is most of the money up front, but then of some way to force the team to keep them.
Right.
And so that's really probably more the argument than average annual value.
Keep out the void year thing that's very popular in the league.
The players don't care about that. I mean, that's just a salary cap. No, that's just a salary cap.
Okay.
Kobe's disagreeing with me.
Yeah. Yeah. We heard that one a little bit, shaking his head. Yeah. I still think this does get done. I think that'd be the only reason that it might not get done is Adam Peters might be one of these guys who says, I didn't draft him in the end. Like, this was not one of my guys. I like him, but if it's not my guy, why would I spend the money?
You want the cynic path? Here's the cynic path. This is really cynical, but you don't give him a contract and you say either play or you're going to this year or you're going to lose credit for the year, which he would.
Right.
And then you franchise tag him.
Right.
Yeah, you can crazy.
You can franchise tag him. That's true.
And then you do it again, so that's going to put him at like a little under 30 with the franchise tag, which still isn't really value. Then you franchise tag him again in 30 in 27, and that would be expensive. But then you just let it go, and you accomplish the same goal.
Yeah,
that's the Cynics route. That's basically what they tried to do with who'd they do that to?
Well, they did it to Kirk.
Yeah, it was him. Yeah. Oh, that's really cynical, but that's what Adam Peters could do to McLaurin. And there's nothing McLaurin could do about it.
Yeah. I mean, other than suddenly collect $60 million over 2 years, which
Cry Me a River.
Right. Look, I think the problem becomes it's really just a fan perception thing. Like, he's such a respected player to a lot of fans, so that's always going to be. It is a factor. I know it isn't in business, but in the PR side of things for the team, it does matter. So that's always going to be tricky. Dave, you had an interesting point though about this whole situation with Terry's agent that you mentioned before the show.
I just think that ultimately, I think he's getting from the feel that I kind of have with some of the comments that like JP Finley have on the field, and some the one guy from 106.7 The Fan, I forget his name, he's constantly out there. It's like Lindell or whatever his name is, but one of the fields that I kind of sense is he's getting very, very bad advice from his agent right now. I mean, he's standing firm on a number that doesn't seem like he wants to flex off of at all, and it's just, even though the team, because John Keim even alluded to the fact that the team would look to get close to 28 million, right around that number. So you would think that'd be enough for Terry and his agent to flex a little bit. It's not his value.
That's not his value.
But the thing is at least the team looks like it's starting to give a little bit, but there's zero flexibility from the other side. That's the feel that I have. Whether that's true or not, I have no idea. Nothing confirms that. But it just seems like they're firm and planned. They want to be either at DK Metcalf or higher than what DK Metcalf gets, and that's it. And to me, an agent shouldn't be negotiating that way if that's what's happening.
I mean, his value isn't 28 million. I mean, I don't blame
No, I
him
get
for staying
that.
firm on that.
Well, no, I get that, but at least it looks like the team is flexing somewhat. But I mean, there are ways of trying to get them
really
closer to the number.
I don't think we know what they're doing.
No, for sure. No, we're not. Yeah.
No, but Steve, if you're in a negotiation and you come up from your side and you say, all right, here's some more that I'm willing to offer, and the other side doesn't give anything back, like
it's happened to me many times.
Right.
Sure. But
there are times when I have said something along the lines of, this is not a negotiable point that is on the table.
Right.
I've said that. And, maybe Washington's just, we don't care, period, dot, the end. We're not going above the number. I've also said the number will not have a 3 in it.
Right.
I've said this to people, or whatever the number was. That may be Washington's position. This is not negotiable. We are not doing this. Yep. You can go jump in a lake. I'm not saying we haven't even signed on. I'm just saying that's possible.
Right.
And now
you can go to 29.9. You won't get that 3.
Now, as far as like Dan Orlovsky, I don't know if you guys heard his comments on this whole ordeal. Because he came out talking about, this part's accurate. I get this part. Terry McLaurin has been around during the whole entire dumpster fire era, Dan Snyder, and the transition with Ron Rivera and how horrible this team was. Turned it was dysfunctional, had no steady quarterback. He was really the only linchpin to this team that one gave him any form of decent reputation, and two, somewhat helped keep the locker room together. All that I agree with, and you're right 100%. That's true. And then Dan Orlovsky follows up by saying, because of that and everything in the past, you pay the man. You pay them whatever he wants, almost like an open checkbook, sign it, boom. That part, I'm like, time out here. I mean, I get what he did there. He got a really nice extension, which was right around market value at that time. But when he received, they got paid very well. Now you're talking about he's north of, he's almost at 30. You now want the team to make a decision on what he's done in the past, to make the decision to go forward on what he thinks they should pay him now going forward, regardless of the fact of age and other factors that every team in this league looks at. Oh, and by the way, he already got a really good, healthy extension with a lot of guaranteed money, because he deserved it because of his play. I'm not saying his play dropped, but he's getting to the point of Julio Jones factor here. Julio Jones, I think, at age 31, once he dropped below 1,000 yards, that was it. He never touched 1,000 yards again. And if that happens at Julio Jones at age 31, what makes you think that's not going to happen to Terry McLaurin? The team has to look at all of those factors. They can't just go back on what he's done in the past and how good of a trooper he was and say, well, pay him for that. That's bad business.
All this stuff you're saying, this is Dan Orlovsky from a player's perspective.
Yes.
He's not being objective. I mean, to summarize what you're saying, teams more consider what the player will do in the future.
Right.
The past matters, but not as much as the future. And the key is, as you said, is age. A lot of players drop off after 30. I mean, that's what it is.
So,
I do think they need to sign him. And I don't probably give him a 4-year deal, but there would be an out after year 2, right? Under my deal. That's what I projected.
So I have one thought that kind of popped in my head with this whole debate a while back, and that is, look, I understand they're a few million apart, and I don't know what the ethical rules would be here, or maybe there are rules that say that the ownership can't do this, but Josh Harris is his big talent in life is equity investing and making lots of money off of other money. Would he be allowed to say, hey, Terry, look, we may be $6 million apart on your contract right now, but I can help you invest
That is not legal.
That is not legal? Okay.
Yeah, he can't do that in a CBA.
Okay.
Now, I'll be quick with it, but just to kind of drive home the point of Julio Jones.
I don't think you're going to be quick with it, but we love you anyway, Dave.
I will. I promise. From age 26 to 30, he had over 1,800 yards, 1,400 yards, 1,400 yards, over 1,600 and over 1,300 yards. Age 31, 771, 434, 299, and 74. This is one of the best receivers in the entire NFL history. And this happened to him. This is what the team this is what the team wants to avoid, and rightfully so. I get that.
Yep. I think we all do. We all understand that happens.
And listen, the fans want him back. I get it, but most fans don't.
Oh, we all do.
Most fans don't know what the hell they're talking about. They pay the man. Okay, it's a lot more complicated than that. But thanks to your input, that's just not. There's a lot more. There's a lot more in depth than just pay the guy.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so one thing I haven't seen is Terry. Did Terry go up to New England with the team for that practice?
No. No, he didn't.
All right, so he's been in DC.
This fake injury thing that would really irritate me. I wouldn't want to negotiate with him just because of that alone.
Yeah, but I also think the team might have said, "Hey, we're going to do this just to save a little face too on there."
I said that in my column. It looks to me like they did say that. I'm just saying I don't agree with it.
Yeah. It
looks to me like they're just sort of implicitly consenting to it, to try to build some manner of harmony, here.
Right. So yeah, Washington is in New England. They're doing the joint practice thing. We're doing 2 of those this offseason in Washington, which is awesome. I love joint practices as a concept. I think that even though the preseason can be fun, joint practices are actually useful, and I'd rather see more of this than preseason stuff.
I'll be honest with you, take away preseason games altogether and just do nothing but joint practices up until week 1.
I'd be fine with that. If the NFL went that route, I would be A-okay with it.
I think the preseason games are kind of dumb for the most part.
Right.
But the one value they do have is really not to the fans, because the games are boring. Let's be honest.
Right.
The games are really boring. But the coaches do get a chance to see these like 3rd, 4th, 5th string guys perform in a more high stress setting when they're really hitting. And so I think they're more useful to the coaching staff than the fans. And frankly, I think the teams are bilking the people like Dave who are forced to buy the preseason tickets at full price when they're crappy games. That's lousy, but that's the way it goes. But that's what I think. I think they're more useful to the team than the fans.
I do think that's true. And I did hear an interesting point. I can't remember who said it, but the joint practices and training camp, they're fine for receivers and quarterbacks and stuff like that. But you really don't get a good feel for if a running back's going to be any good or how your linemen are playing unless there's full contact in a preseason game.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you can understand how that is with the safety rules and everything.
Sure.
So that makes sense to me, like using preseason for certain positions more than others. I don't think you need 3 preseason games for that, though. Honestly,
not if they're not going to. I mean, I see value in letting the starters play, but the trend in the NFL is not let them play. So
right. Yeah. I think maybe go back to what they did in the 40s and 50s and play college teams. Make it interesting. Play the XFL if you want.
Listen, these college guys, at the amount of money they're now making under the NIL program, they wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, they're making more than a lot of the 3rd string guys.
Yeah, they are. They have some of them are. They wouldn't want to do that.
No, I know.
Which is crazy, but that's a whole nother rant.
That is a whole nother rant. All right, so some interesting highlights that came out from this joint practice so far. One, I read through a lot of Patriots reporters. One of the things they were very positive about with Washington, they're going to praise their guys more than anything, right? But they said Washington's defensive line shut down the run game of the New England Patriots number 1s. So if that was the plan in the offseason, I think it's fair to say that was their number 1 goal this offseason was to build a better run defense. It sounds like that went well in this camp. There were 2 fights that happened. One was Keishon Boutte. I don't know how you pronounce his name. The receiver for New England versus Marshawn Lattimore. They got into a fist fight.
Keishon Boutte let's call him that.
Yeah, Booty.
Keishon Boutte.
That's kind of a funny name, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go with Booty. So
or Kiss on Booty. How about that?
Yeah. So we'll go with that, and then I don't know if it was in that fight or another fight, but apparently Mike Vrabel went to break a fight up and ended up getting hit in the face and was bleeding.
Yes.
It was that fight.
That's not a dude that I would want to hit in the face.
I think it was more incidental contact. I don't think Booty slapped Vrabel in the face. I think maybe like somebody's helmet got thrown at something. I don't know.
So Vrabel didn't slap a Booty?
No. He never played quarterback. He doesn't know how to do that.
I don't know. Some men like slapping booties.
Yeah. Well,
it's not for me to judge.
Hey, man, back in the 80s, that's all guys did in football, right? Like, every time you did a big play, you got a nice little slap on the ass.
Absolutely. Good game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there was nothing weird about it. Just
there was a lot weird about it. It always
you did it
was
in baseball,
weird.
you did it in football, like it was just a thing.
It was only weird when he cupped a hand. That was it.
No, that was more weird, but it was the next level weird.
I thought it was weird when you took 2 hands and then you just like jiggled them really fast. Yes.
Man.
So that was an interesting thing that happened though. You don't expect to see a coach get bloodied in a fight. By the way, these fights happen every joint practice, don't they? Like
it happened with the Texans, remember?
That was a big one. And that was worse because Hard Knocks was there, remember? Everyone saw it. But I feel like every joint practice we have, there's at least one fight. Maybe 2. There was 2 at this one. The Texans one was bad enough, though, where they canceled the practice after that. Other than that, it sounds like Drake May played very well against our number 1 defense passing-wise, which is concerning. The only thing I saw that happened negative for him was Bobby Wagner had a pick. That was the other tidbit I took away from reading what was going on with the Patriots. And then this thing that I forgot, Morgan Moses is still a starting right tackle in New England.
Honestly, I didn't even know he was still in the NFL.
That's more the shocker. Like, Morgan Moses was good for Washington for a couple years, but I would not have expected him to still be playing this long.
That's one big dude. I ran into him in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
When I went to visit our Hogsty Ashburn offices,
right,
several years ago, and he walked in the coffee shop. One big dude, gotta say.
Sure. He's only 34 though. I guess that's not totally shocking that he's still in the league.
Seems like he's been around forever.
Yeah, he's still serviceable.
Yeah. So congrats to him.
Wiley.
Yeah. Congrats to him for still being
Took
there.
the words out of my mouth on that one.
I figured you were thinking it.
Yeah.
I am telepathic.
See, that's twice. How about that?
Otherwise, by the way, I heard Washington's offensive line is starting to really play well. Josh Conley is doing better, like noticeably better than he was his first week of normal training camp was the one topic I saw with him. I don't know, Dave, I know you follow it closely online as well. Steve is busy doing his real job all the time.
Kobe is asking for attention.
Kobe's asking for attention. That's Steve's real job.
I meant right at this moment, but yeah,
yes.
I don't pay attention during the week because I have very stressful
you have to read other things.
Yeah.
Yes. But Dave, what were some things that kind of stood out to you from what you saw?
For one, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, or aka Bill.
Yep.
He didn't really show any kind of real big plays from what I understood. In fact, Brian Robinson Jr. actually looked pretty solid through camp. A couple nice runs, showing some good vision and everything. But it's early, of course. But the one name that keeps popping up, and I'm watching actually a video of him now, is Ja'Cory Brooks, the wide receiver, undrafted wide receiver they have. The kid's big. That's a big boy. He's got some good speed, and he has definitely shown some really good hands so far, from what I understand. He's a bit raw in his route running and everything, but the one player comp that someone gave him was it Colson, Marquez Colson, I think is right. Marquez Colson from the Saints.
Marquez Colson.
Marquez Colson.
Yeah.
So I mean, which is intriguing. I mean, he was never a dominant receiver. He was a raw player, good speed, great hands. So it kind of aligns with that a little bit, I guess.
I've got Ja'Cory Brooks listed on my massive chart as 6'3", 195. So
he's got some height. Yeah.
So he's definitely been flashing some potential. That's kind of a name to watch right there. People were saying that Noah Brown hasn't looked really great, real dominant like they had hoped he'd be. But I'm not really sure why people expect a whole great deal from Noah Brown. He's always been more of a flashy player, like big game or two here and then disappear, and then probably an injury or two here and there.
Didn't he have? I was going to say, didn't he have an injury that he was toward the end of the year?
Yeah. So I mean, he's got worlds of potential, but it never always ever came back together. Now the one thing I did notice is outside of some Patriot beat reporters confusing Jayden Daniels with Josh Johnson a few times, right?
Yeah.
Outside of that, they did have glowing praise about how Jayden Daniels was controlling that offense. His accuracy has been really, really good. He's been very tough for their corners to get a read on. He's made some very difficult throws like he did all year last year. He was continue that again this year. So he looked really clean in the pocket. Overall, I mean, the team itself offensively has looked pretty good so far in camp overall. I just think people need to continue to temper their hopes on Bill there. Krosky Merritt, so just relax on that guy.
Let's not put him on the latest fan obsession.
Yeah, he's the next Lake Seastrunk, potentially.
There's been a string of them.
Oh, yeah.
Every year there's somebody, and this year it's him.
We call it the Cult of Colt in honor of the late great Colt Brennan.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he died, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yes.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Now go on the defensive side of it. I know Drake May had a pretty good day apparently, but the one thing that people have noticed is that it looks like Lattimore has got that real quick step back in his movement again, which is a good sign. Mike Sanders show has been all over the field. Wherever the ball is at, he's there. And Trey Amos has been kind of up and down, but mostly up on the most part. It looks like they may have a pretty nice trio of corners potentially going into week 1, which would be a real nice change over what we've seen the last few years.
We can't know now, but I mean, that seems to be like signs that are trending in a decent direction. That's how I categorize it.
Yeah. And that's more than what we've been seeing for like the last better part of 5 years now.
Probably like even more. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. By the way, the team has put out their official first depth chart, which is I think you have to do a depth chart at some point for preseason.
Yeah, I think you do. Yeah.
But obviously everything's very much in pencil when they do this. Most of the stuff you would expect. Obviously with Terry McLaurin being out right now, they kind of have Michael Gallup listed as his like top replacement at his spot.
Well, I'll tell you the one that surprised me on here in offense. So none of this surprises me, except they've got Andrew Wiley starting at right tackle over Connerly.
Well, but
that's not that surprising.
But Andrew Wiley or Josh Connerly when you get to the next guy.
Well, it doesn't on Washington's website.
That's what it says on mine. I'm looking at Commanders.com.
I'm looking at the same thing. I don't see any ors.
Where it says Andrew Wiley, next column, or Josh Connerly Jr. You don't have that?
Doesn't say that. Nope.
Weird. Mine says that. Let me refresh.
Go to the roster page and then the unofficial depth chart. That's what I'm looking at.
That's what I'm looking at too. How is it you and I are seeing different things?
I'm looking right at it. There is not an or.
All right, Dave, you're gonna have to be the tiebreaker and say
Well,
what you see.
Yeah, I'm going there.
I got the
there
link
now.
right there.
Let's see.
That's weird. But I guess it's not unexpected that Wiley would be the starter right now.
For the record, I want to prove that I'm right because I'm just as stubborn. So I've shared my screen, not for the fans, but for you two. I'm showing you guys what I'm looking at right here. There's no or.
Well, I'm looking at it right now, and it says Andrew Wiley or Josh Connolly Jr.
That is not what it says on my screen.
No, you're
literally.
So they have two different things on their website that are the unofficial depth chart. They have the thing you showed, and then there's also the article by their writer Zach Shelby.
Okay. So the article is not official. Of course, neither is the depth chart, but it's
because
just
the depth chart is also titled unofficial depth chart.
I don't know. I mean, it just means that.
I know.
It means two different groups of staffers are doing this, and they don't have their act together. That's what it means.
Well, I think we've solved Orgate.
Yeah, it's their fault.
Yeah, it is absolutely their fault. The only thing that I also found interesting is that Von Miller's also penciled in as a starter at outside linebacker right now.
As opposed to what?
Maybe Jordan McGee being the second outside linebacker.
No. So did I go over Von Miller? So they're paying him a lot of money. You can always track who's going to be the starter based on. I've told you guys from the beginning of the show. For those of you who've been listening that long, I mean, you can generally pick out the starters based on who's making money. And Von Miller has got a cap hit of $5.8 million.
Right.
He's going to start, people. Jordan McGee is on a low-end rookie deal with $1 million cap hit.
Right.
There's your answer. Von Miller is a starter.
Well, and let's be clear. Von Miller's also he's a starter, but he's also at a position where he's not going to be an every down guy.
Absolutely not. No, I went over that too. I mean,
we talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to do 30 to 40% of the plays. Right. That's what he's going to do.
Right.
They want to honor his status as a veteran and as a future Hall of Famer and all of that, but he's not going to play more than 30, 40%.
He's a pass rush specialist, so he'll be there on third and longs for sure. He'll probably be there on, your occasional obvious pass rushing downs outside of that, but you're not going to see him in there for other things.
And besides, anyway, when it comes to that outside linebacker spot, I don't even think that's even Jordan McGee is going to be there anyway. I think he's going to be potentially groomed to be Wagner's replacement. I would think Wagner
that is true.
Yeah, because I mean, he's more of a middle linebacker build. What he has.
Von Miller is an edge rusher. People, they can call him whatever they want, linebacker.
Well, they have no one else behind him.
Right.
I mean, what? I mean, after him, what they have?
Jacob Martin.
What I'm looking
That's
at,
who they got
Jacob
behind
Martin.
Him. Yeah. And then TJM, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that last name. So
yeah, he's the international pathway player.
Right. So he'll probably make the team because of that international pathway thing.
He could, yeah. It's a free spot, basically.
Right. And why every team wouldn't use that, I don't understand.
Yeah,
apparently some teams don't.
But your Dave's point is right. I mean, there's literally nobody of any consequence behind him.
Right. We don't have anybody who's kind of that tweener build that he's a little heavy for a linebacker. Yeah.
Regardless, anybody who's remotely starter worthy.
No, of course not. So no other real surprises in this depth chart. Hold on, let me check special teams. Anything weird in special teams here?
Only you would know.
Well, it is surprising that KJ Osborne's listed as the starting punt returner, not Jalen Lane.
Well, I mean, look, Jalen Lane hasn't even played in a preseason game yet.
Rookie factor, a little bit.
Of course.
Yeah, that would be the only thing I find interesting. And Tress Way is officially listed as a holder. You don't always see people list their holder in their special teams breakdown.
See, the special teams, the chart I'm looking at doesn't even list Tress Way on the roster.
Really? Who's their punter?
Nobody. It's blank.
So I'm gonna say whoever did that one's lazy.
Yeah, seriously. Is it gonna be somebody besides Tress Way?
Well. But also just have some respect for, the team's longest tenured player.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Who's it going to be besides Tress Way?
Right. Exactly.
But it sounds like your chart is more accurate than mine, at least.
Somehow.
The one you're looking at, yeah.
The OR chart is the better chart. We're just going to call it the or chart.
The or chart.
Because it's got an or in it, which is just ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, let's talk about our final topic. We have 10 minutes left. This news, very depressing for a lot of fans. ESPN's purchasing of NFL Network. I'm sure, Steve, you're going to talk about this in depth on IJB.
Yes.
But I know, Dave, you're a big NFL Network guy. You really liked Red Zone when you're not at games.
Right.
I don't have the attention span that's right for Red Zone. If I'm going to watch a game, I want to watch everything.
Right.
Like, Red Zone doesn't work or has never worked for me in that respect. But I know, probably most fans love Red Zone. I would say I'm in the minority at this point.
Right.
People who want to just watch one game. But yeah, this is a big story, man. ESPN buying them out.
Well, apparently, what's really happened, because even one of the clips I share with you guys, Roger Goodell was talking about it. ESPN has the naming right of Red Zone, so they can use it for college, for baseball, or whatever. The NFL Red Zone is remaining on the NFL Network, still going to be produced in the NFL Network, with still Scott Hanson running it. So everything that we've known for the NFL Red Zone to be to this point is going to continue. He said nothing's changed on that at all.
Can I inject something into this? So
sure.
What they did is, number one, they're selling the IP, the intellectual property, to the name Red Zone, which is a trademark. So they're selling that, and then they have sold the NFL Network to ESPN because ESPN wants to stick it on their streaming platform, and that gains them like 28 games a year. So that's that. Now the NFL still owns the intellectual property of the games. The NFL is still going to produce the content. It's just ESPN is basically bought into, purchased the right to put it on their system, and then I believe then that the NFL owns 10% now, bought in 10% equity into ESPN, which is owned by Disney. And so now the NFL is a partner, and that's a bit odd, I think, frankly.
That the NFL owns 10% of the network that broadcasts their stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, but that's what it is. So the NFL will produce the content. They sold the intellectual property, the trademark to the name Red Zone, and because now they own the NFL Network, it'll be streamed on ESPN in addition to being, which they're going to sell for like $30 a month, for their streaming package, in addition to being probably a separate channel on cable still. So
does this somehow mean that we can blame Roger Goodell for all the terrible Star Wars movies? No, right?
No. You got to stick with Kathleen Kennedy for that one.
Okay, all right, we'll stick with Kathleen. Kennedy.
You're absolutely right on that one, 100%.
I can't lay that on Roger's feet.
If anyone's going to go to the dark side, it's Roger Goodell. We all know that. That.
Yeah, but even I can't blame him for that. I might blame George Lucas for stupidly selling it to Disney, but
yeah, for only $4 billion too, which seems.
I don't care what the number is. Don't sell anything to Disney. Disney ruins everything.
They really do. You know what they do? They just make everything the most mediocre it can be to be profitable. But
half the crap they make isn't profitable.
That's true now.
Yes.
That is definitely true now. But I think their formula has always been get to C+. That's Disney's philosophy.
Don't get me started. I have a whole rant, but I'm not going to do it. We're out of time.
Yes, that's fair. So I think overall this purchase, I think I'm with you, Dave, in that it's disappointing, obviously, that they made this move.
Why is it disappointing?
Well, it's more consolidation. I think people who love NFL Network loved how it was kind of just it was the scrappy underdog kind of fighting against that ESPN behemoth.
Yeah, I go with that. ESPN.
The irony being NFL being the 800-pound gorilla, but
but it was kind of a separate thing, and ESPN has just become a ridiculous farce of what it once was, in my view.
Right.
So
and
no doubt about that.
I think there's a lot of concern that over time it's just going to become the Pat McAfee network.
Possible, or people like that.
Yes. And the only thing I also fear too is that over time, eventually the NFL Red Zone is going to get drawn into. Now we're going to, ESPN will start getting controlling aspects or decision makings of, well, let's replace Scott Hanson with this guy, and let's start adding some ads in there.
Oh, there's absolutely that they will definitely. That's probably part of the deal, and I bet you they will absolutely have that right to do that stuff.
And the only reason why I love the NFL Red Zone the way it is because I have no ads, no commercials, no nothing, zero zip. It's literally, I'm just hoping they put up a game I care absolutely nothing for, so I can run to the bathroom real quick, and then I can get back.
Right.
That's what I love about the Red Zone. I got to make the timing just right.
Oh, good. Colts, Jaguars, I can pee.
I see. I'm too cheap to pay for stuff like that, so I don't have it anyway.
Yeah. So it will be interesting to see because Disney's doing this whole consolidation of all their streaming stuff. I don't know if you guys know about that, but I wonder how this will play into that. The
NFL Network will be a part of the ESPN streaming package.
Right.
That's how it plays into it.
Right. But so like Hulu's going away. It's just going to be part of Disney.
Right.
I think eventually sports is big enough where they might just have like Disney Sports as a package.
We covered this on IJB, and you can go back and listen to that one because there's been a whole bunch of different ideas and contemplations about this.
Yeah. Yeah. So that whole thing's just going to become an interesting situation in the end is I think the point. Yeah. And but yes, overall I just don't want to see more Pat McAfee. I don't want
less ESPN the better. Yeah.
Yeah. I basically have stopped watching any ESPN for a while.
I don't watch it at all either. I mean, if there's a game on that's it. I don't watch any. I used to listen to ESPN radio religiously. I don't listen to any of it anymore. Yeah. I don't watch any of their stupid shows. Stephen A. Smith is just a loudmouth train wreck. I mean, as are most of them.
Yeah. Ever since he and Skip Bayless kind of became the thing, it all started going downhill.
Who's a ridiculous human being himself. Yes,
they're both clowns. They both are clowns.
I don't think Bayless
I'd much rather listen to Stephen A. than Skip Bayless.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't think Bayless is even with ESPN anymore.
Is he with Fox now? Or
I don't know.
He's with one of the lesser ones.
No, he's with nobody now.
Good.
Oh, everyone's done with him? Good.
Yeah, he's actually, he has his own little thing he does now.
He has a podcast. He's one of us.
Yeah.
The last bastion of the desperate.
Yeah. Yeah. Only weird losers get on the podcast and talk about sports.
Who's that other idiot that had the same problem? It doesn't matter. Anyway, there's a host of those people.
Right. Was it me, Steve?
And now they have Mad Dog on there, which is equally as insufferable to listen to.
Well, the guy I'm thinking about dabbles in politics. He was in sports, and he rails on about politics. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about.
That guy is a total clown show himself.
Yep. All right, so that's the sad thing. I feel like we should have switched something up, put a happier note on the final.
The happier note is that there's football starting Friday night.
That is
you're listening to this on Thursday. If you're listening to this on Friday, football is on. I will have to figure out how to watch it here in Texas. I will figure it out.
I annoyingly, and I'm not getting into this on the show, but I have to drive up to Lancaster, Pennsylvania Friday to see my friend, and then see how the hell do I watch.
I will send you my hacked website.
All right,
we're not going to repeat on the air because we're trying to keep it from the FCC.
Yeah.
Make sure you go to Shady Maples while you're up there.
Shady Maples.
Shady Maples.
Okay, I will write that one down. All right, that's not like a sex club, is it? That sounds like a sex club.
No, that's an Amish smorgasbord up there. Plus, in the basement on the floor, they have a massive store with almost anything you can imagine down there, and they still carry Redskin stuff too every now and then.
Shady Acres sounded like a retirement home, is what it sounded like.
Yeah, no,
Shady Maples, right?
Yeah, Shady
Maples sounds like a retirement home too.
In Vermont, yeah.
Shady Maple, yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Maybe it's a retirement home for and a sex club at the same time.
Most retirement homes are, it sounds like. So, apparently. I can't wait to retire.
And
all right. With that, we will end the show. All right, guys. We'll see you all next week.
Bye. Later.
Later.
It does kind of sound like a